to you live from an upload speed of 1.17 megabytes per second. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
G'day and welcome to the 83rd, can you believe it, 83rd episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. I'm going to tell that crowd to shut the fuck up. Good, that worked well. All right, now this... Good. Well, it might be a little bit abrupt, if anything. I might have to put some fucking reverb on it. But anyway, here we are, live in our usual time slot again, and I feel like that's an achievement in and of itself. But beyond that, I'm joined by none other than Real-Time Sloth, who's here every week and you're probably sick of, as much as you are me. And our special guest this week is Grindhead Jim. Now, you'll notice that there's one particular Obi-Wan Kenobi lookalike that's fucking missing from our usual motley crew. He is away somewhere. And I've heard many theories bandied about as to where he may be. I have heard that he is actually incognito at Guardiancon, making sure the law finds everyone. But I don't know that for a fact. So maybe he's just having a weekend away with his missus and, you know, getting away from the stress of everything. So that would be completely fair enough. But anyway, enough on Matt. He's not here. So, you know, fuck him. Sloth, how you doing?
I'm good.
I'm good.
How you doing?
I'm shit.
It's been
I'm shit, actually.
It's been a pretty silly week. Honestly, it's been a pretty silly week. Body doesn't agree with me this week, which is a bit butts, but it is what it is. And a bit like yourself, not feeling particularly well. Yeah, got the child flu, I guess you could say. And yeah, it's been one of those weeks. Just been one of those weeks, mate.
Child flu, is that like bird flu, but you get it from children?
Yep.
Yeah, it's exactly that. I've had two sick kids this week myself. I've, you know, struggled through that, and now I'm feeling like I'm coming down with something. So, man, and you know what? Even worse than that, I've got bloody Tiny Dancer stuck in my head, and have had for 2 days, and not even the proper version, the one where you say Tony Dancer instead. So,
hold me closer, Tony Dancer.
I'm just a mess. I'm an absolute mess. So that, and I'm incredibly envious of everyone who's currently attending Guardiancon. So it's one of those days where every time I log on Twitter, I'm like, motherfuckers having a good time. How dare you? But,
how very dare you?
Jim, welcome to the show, mate. You've been a long time friend, and it's good to finally get you in here, man. Like, if you want to introduce yourself to our audience, if they haven't come across you already, how do you sum up Jim in your own words?
I mean, that's really the best word, honestly, but, you know, well, I'll try to elaborate a little bit. I am a Destiny content creator. I've done a lot of other content, but I keep coming back to Destiny, like coming back to mother, as Roger Meadows Taylor said. First off, I want to get something straight. Grindhead has nothing to do with MMOs or grinding in game. It's a grindcore term that was given to me in 1995 and has stuck ever since. It's stuck all the way through my professional death metal career and has latched onto me like a lamprey well into my video gaming stuff. So I also host a podcast called Destiny's Not Dead, which caused a bit of a stir when we came out, ruffled some feathers. with a phrase, why. If you used to be a Guardian, you never were. And one of my original fire team members is like, dude, fuck you. I was like, dude, what? I'm just trying to get it's working. So, but I will say this: in the few months of that podcast has been a thing, irregular though it may be, I have noticed a distinct downturn in the amount of dead game comments all over the internet. I'm telling you, I'm doing something.
You're fighting back the tide, man. You think you're curtailing the idiocy? Like, I think you are. I'll pay it. I'll pay it. Even like taking back the name. You know what I mean? Like, just making it sort of poking fun at it, I think will, dissuade people from carrying on with that shit in the future.
Which really was the idea, and then immediately following that, there's tons of proof that it is not. So, I mean, I hate to bring up the G word, but Guardiancon, 2.7 million and counting. More than the first 2 years combined in terms of fundraising, and it continues to go on. So obviously the game is alive and well, and is going to continue to be that way until Bungie sells it to Activision. So
stop. We're not going down that rabbit hole just yet.
All right.
We're going to leave that well enough alone. We've got enough very, very positive shit to be talking about. So we're going to do that instead.
Like that.
Just to clarify something, Jim actually isn't Godzilla. He has a face, I'm led to believe. I've seen it before. It's just
true.
Fucking Skype.
Skype is an arsehole.
Yet again. Skype, if you're out there, I don't know, is Skype a person or is it just a thing?
No.
Is there a person called Skype?
Let's call it an entity,
okay.
and treat it like, like a worm god, and make it a very short boss battle that is easy to beat.
We can do that. We can do that. If Skype was so easily defeated, then we wouldn't be battling 83 episodes later. But hey, we might. I mean, by the amount of swearing
Spoilers,
that went on
Destiny 3
just before we went live,
first
I think we might be
raid
transitioning.
boss of Destiny 3 is Skype.
Skype, no. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. Merlin, again, yes, he is MIA. He is secretly taken the Activision private jet to Guardiancon to go undercover. He's over there shaking hands undercover, playing the fan of Destiny, but not a content creator. He's just like, oh my god, it's Man at Arms, like just being just general shit. But no, he's having a time away with his lovely girlfriend. But yeah. All right, this week in Bungie, my friends.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, this week at Bungie, and then we've got something important coming up. I'm just going to do it midway through this week at Bungie to make sure everyone's paying attention. But this week at Bungie, Sloth, you want to hit it?
A lot of things. So, update 1.2.3 is imminent, ladies and gentlemen. Next week's reset sees the introduction of 6v6 quick play, Rumble, new bounties, very similar to the Taken King format, will reward XP and faction rep, available from a variety of vendors as per Taken King. Can be claimed in the field.
Yep. No going to the tower to fucking hand it in.
Mm-hmm. Bounties will expire uncompleted as per, and it's cost a small amount of glimmer to purchase as per. And fourthly, ladies and gentlemen, we have PC clan chat. So if you do not use Discord, which you are the minority, I would actually say, on any sort of PC-based game, you can quickly text your clan members in game, which is very, very cool. Very, very cool. It's a quality of life change that I didn't see a lot of people asking for it, but it's definitely good. It's definitely good. But Jens, what do you think about all those little snippets and little changes right there?
Honestly, it's just sort of getting things back online, right? Like the PC clan chat, that in itself is just a great little change for us who are, just to be able to put a call out to clan-wide call. Look, we're looking for one more without having to jump out of Destiny, go to the Discord, hope people are paying attention to it. Like I think that's going to be a great move, and I think it'll alleviate some of the sort of frustrations around being able to pull a team together. We're in a pretty big clan, so obviously it's a different ball game than if you're in a small clan. You probably talk to everyone anyway, but definitely a significant step forward for me. Everything else, like honestly, the bounty system coming, I'm excited to get into that because we haven't seen that for so long. I think they kind of tried to cut the chore out of Destiny, like that daily kind of chore grind thing, and in that it kind of lost something. And if you'd told me a year ago that getting away from bounties and the daily mission sort of stuff would have been a bad thing, I'd probably have dismissed your point of view. But at the same time, that's just me. I'm an ignorant shit. Rumble 6v6 quick play. I'm looking forward to both. I have seen ructions on Twitter about people pissed off that it's going to 6v6 quick play, but you know what? Just play competitive. If you're that worried about it, there's you can access.
Yeah, but
the,
6
the
months
game
ago,
type.
people were pissed off that we didn't have the 6v6, and then when
know.
6v6 came to Iron Banner, everyone messed their pants. It's one of those things.
They just can't win. Bungie can't win. People don't know what they want, so they just go, I don't know what I want. I'm just going to yell randomly at the internet. Stop it.
That is the best Reddit impression I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah,
I can hear all the threads being deleted right now, actually, like from all these things that are being changed just with this patch that are coming up. And then these in particular, I think a lot of the really loud voices about, we want this, we want this, we want this, because the bounties aren't just going to be XP, although a lot of them will be. You're also getting legendary gear from some of them, and it's been hinted heavily that some exotics may come from it as well. So I feel like from an investment standpoint, it's going to be a nice thing to be able to pick and choose. I think the investment side of it is good because you're not going to just grab bounties because I still have bounties on my Destiny 1 main character from Crucible that I never finished a year ago. So it's like, I like that idea that you have to really pick and choose what you're going to be grabbing, and that there is an immediacy to it and there's a sort of urgency with it. And, obviously we'll see what happens come, the patch. But based upon what they said in the update, it looks very good.
The only issue that I have with 6v6, and I kind of found this out last night, Iron Banner, it's always going to be a little bit more competitive. People sweat a little bit more. When I was solo queuing Iron Banner last night, it was people were sweating. Oh my God. And the maps don't feel big enough for 6v6. I don't know how they change it. I don't think they can with the current maps that do exist in the game. Maybe they'll change. Maybe they'll implement some map adjustments. Probably not. But some new maps with Forsaken would be really,
I honestly
really nice.
think that we'll just see with new expansions and DLCs and whatnot, they'll come with bigger maps. We've already got got good small maps. We don't need we don't need any more. We've got them. So if they just make concentrate on bringing out bigger maps with the new content. I know that it's probably not the perfect way to go about it. If we could all just go, plus 20% size and enlarge the fucking maps as they are, that'd be the best outcome. But it's not going to happen. It's fucking crazy.
The biggest complaint tends to be the spawn points being too close together and it being too easy to spawn camp. And I think that if they work on the spawning system for those smaller maps, I think they're going to be just fine. And they've already taken some steps in that direction. So I think it's just a matter of time until we get to a place where the old maps feel a little bit more comfortable. And I think a lot of that comes down to playstyle, which is going to be coming under a huge change when we get this weapon system with the Forsaken. Yeah. So I think a lot of what we're dealing with here is the growing pains of we're gradually changing in this direction. I think once the Forsaken hits, a lot of those creases are going to get ironed out.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think it's a perception thing too, right? Like if you're just thrown in there into the same maps and there's 4 extra people in there, right? Like it just feels faster and more frantic. And for some people like me and Sloth, that's like, yes, because we don't really think anyway. But if you're the kind of slow, strategic, methodical player, it doesn't suit that playstyle quite as well, right? Like you are constantly being put in positions where you have to just react and react and react. And I understand why people don't like it. If that's the way you play, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But I think that to say that 6v6 is a bad thing or anything like that is a little bit self-serving when you look at the fact that most people want it. But look, it's happening whether you like it or not. So you might as well get on the bus. Rumble coming back, I like that. It's never been my jam, but I know that there's a few of the really good PvPers out there really enjoy getting in there and sort of doing the old 1v everyone kind of deal. So I'm interested to see. I think it'll really open the gate for we kind of haven't seen really, really ridiculous PvP stuff for a while, right? It's kind of died down. Ridiculous streak videos and stuff like that. We used to see that in D1 all the time. So I'm hoping that Rumble facilitates that when, there's no friendlies at all. You just kill everyone. So excited. I'm excited to give it a go, but I know that in my little black heart that it's not going to be my main deal.
Well, if you want to sweat it out, there it is. You've got it there. So more power to you, ladies and gentlemen. Game Informer has basically gone and dropped another bombshell. Another one.
They're dropping bombshells like daily.
They are just they are a bomber, just dropping all of the good stuff. Well, not a bomb. Bad analogy. It's fine. In-depth look at new supers. We covered this last week, but if you miss it, we make sure you check out the This Week at Bungie. Very, very cool stuff in there. Make sure you check out the Game Informer article. Very, very cool stuff. And I'm reading this as I see it on our patch notes here, full of pawn tier gifts.
Yeah, it's true.
Of abilities and supers.
I wrote that. I wrote that. I was made to feel uncomfortable at work because of a potential erection, because of the gif of the striker just fucking flying off and slamming shit.
I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but when I saw it, my Valkyrie was online. If you get my drift.
Wow. Is that the D2 equivalent of the spire is forming that you've?
Yes, it was actually coined last night by the Anna Bray Twitter account.
Oh,
well, I mean, yeah.
It's,
wow.
So if you want to go check that out, make sure you go and check that out. It is very, very cool. A lot of people came into a few Destiny streams that I frequent over this week and just legitimately, oh my god, it's so amazing! I need it. Just give it to me now. So a lot of people are excited. Really good to see. We've got flashpoints, ladies and gentlemen. The introduction of outlaws hunting down the escapees of the Prison of Elders. Bounties to track down escapees come in varying difficulty levels from the Tangled Shore NPC. The Spider is it Billy Slater?
It's. I mean, I'm led to believe it's not, but time will tell. Look. This, for me, is probably part of the PvE experience that I currently fucking loathe, right? Like, I don't say that lightly. Like, I do love the game, but that whole hang out on a planet and wait around for public events to come in and do them and then go and see Cade, who's going to die. Like, is there a more depressing thing you can force yourself to do in Destiny at the moment?
Especially on Mercury. Christ.
Oh, yeah, dude, I don't even do... That's the thing. So, look, this... for mine, just appears to be a concerted effort on Bungie's part to really get in and make that aspect of the game more colourful, more vibrant, adds a lot of depth to it, and like there's some of this that I'm just legitimately really looking forward to seeing. Like the fact that the what are they called? The Outlaws can appear in any game mode, obviously with the exclusion of Crucible and probably the Raid, is just like. Okay, you've got to go and hunt this guy down. Go and play Gambit, and he'll spawn in there. Like, I
like that.
I like it.
I like. Yeah, I like the fact
that. Go ahead.
I just like the fact that they can spawn anywhere. Obviously, outside of Crucible and the Raid. But what if they did spawn in the Crucible? Like, there's just this big middle of a 6v6. 6v6 control match. You're running around, you're sweating it up, and then this big giant primeval spawns out of nowhere, and you're just like.
And it would be even better if it would only could kill anyone in the match, but could only take damage from one team. So it'd be kind of like this neat is basically so that you would prevent this idea of, all 12 Guardians, just slamming them. But would also make it, viable. When you add to the fact that, like in the PvE side, where now they're adding in lost sectors and patrols towards your milestones, and that the flashpoint itself, I should be specific, and with flashpoints refreshing every 4 days as opposed to every reset, it really brings more urgency to doing those and staying within those activities and trying to go for those outlaws. It has a nice kind of synergy that we haven't had in PvE pursuits of that type before. I really like how it's coming together just in concept.
I agree, dude. I totally agree. I think that, but like all told, these are kind of obvious fixes. I mean, the outlaws, maybe not, but the like adding the patrols and all of that to come under the flashpoint kind of heading and contribute to that, progress that for you. I mean, it seems a no-brainer, but at the same time, I mean, you look at the way Destiny is, and like Destiny 2 is, and everything was sort of broken up, and everything had its thing, right? Like public events had the milestone, the Flashpoint milestone. Lost Sectors had the faction rally. You know, like everything had its thing where you sort of did each thing, and it was all compartmentalized. And I think, like, logically, that sounds great, but once you put it into practice, it becomes a bit sterile, right? Like, you aren't organically going around doing everything that you know, are presented with, or even thinking about doing everything that you're presented with, because you are normally on a pretty linear, like, I'm doing my Flashpoint, I'm just, you know, I just want to do the public events, and, you know, all right, is there one over in the other part? I'll quick travel over there. You know, it kind of pulls you out of that immersion of just running around, being awesome, doing awesome stuff. So
yeah, absolutely.
I think this is a really, like, if this plays the way it reads, it'll be a huge step forward, and it'll be fun as fuck, because I want to hunt down these bastards, right? The fact that they've sort of added the really what are the top tier ones called? Like the what is it, like level 6 outlaws? I can't remember, but the outlaw lost sectors are like, basically they become like a mini strike. You are going into a specific lost sector to find a particular enemy who's an escapee of the Prison of Elders and is particularly fucking tough. And it changes that whole encounter up to be sort of themed towards what's going on. There's one of these on each planet, so you know there's plenty of variety there to get stuck into. So I think,
have they confirmed that there's only one on each planet?
I think I read that.
Because I'm willing to bet they're on rotation, and even if they're not,
sorry,
my
Jim,
big question. No, I'm sorry. I don't mean the ocean. It's a bitch. You know, my big question. This is the biggest question I have about this, and it would kind of lead into your thought that they might rotate. You know, or that there's multiples, which there should be. I wonder if these will refresh with more generic outlaws, a la like the Taken King enemies we had in Patrol. You know, because I don't want to kill these guys once. I want to kill them once for like whatever, and then maybe either get generic ones to swap out, so it's like a roaming Prison of Elders, or even if it's the same character. Because I don't want it to just be this one and done thing. Like that's one of the biggest downfalls of Destiny 2 is a lot of one and done shit, and I want to see things that I can do over and over again and try different. I'd love to see like Dotto challenges, where, you know, using, you know, bow only on whatever. You just, the more challenges you can give me, the more variety you can give me, the more I'm going to do things over and over again, which is really what the crux of Destiny gameplay really is in PvE, doing shit over and over again. So I'm one hand stoked for this idea, but worried that we'll do it once and then be like, what? That's it? You know, I just hope that it doesn't go away.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of alluding to as well. I hope that it doesn't. It's not just a one and done type of situation. Like, unfortunately, a lot of Warmind was. However, yeah, I hope that it's a rotational thing. I hope that there's there's more to it. So yeah, I mean, good points, Jim. Good points. Anyway, back to it, my friends. We have the Tangled Shore. The video covering the Tangled Shore featured a public event and lost sectors, as we've just discussed. Public event only absolutely exclusive to the Tangled Shore. Now, I haven't seen that video.
I haven't seen the video either, because I don't want to spoil it for myself. Right now, this is a line that we've drawn in the cast. We've gone on about it in the past, but we'll talk about game mechanics and shit like that. But things like the actual completion of missions and, you know, what happens in them and shit like that, unless we really kind of need to do that, we don't. So if it's your thing and you want to watch it, I've seen screenshots of it. It looks fucking pretty. Like, if that's your deal, go and watch the video, because
I mean,
I scrabbled through it and it was cool, but I can't bring myself to watch the whole thing because you're just running through it. I mean, I remember distinctively, like with the Rise of Iron reveal, they showed a lot of it, but they didn't show all of it. Same thing, they showed extremely little of Mars for this recent expansion for Warmind, and I'm still finding shit in there. So and I have a feeling with the way that they're building these areas up, there's no way that everything's in there, but I still want to get in there. and explore. And I remember, I'll never forget it when we did Rise of Iron. It was me, Grizzly, and Bennett Fiasco. We always did content together. We all took a sparrow, went in different directions, and we're like, "Holy shit, you got it!" So like the first hour of us was just exploring, the expanded Cosmodrome, which was great. And it wasn't the biggest patrol area, but there was enough stuff, and it was visually appealing. I feel like the direction that they're taking, and as tight-lipped as they are being about a lot of stuff, I feel like there's a lot more that they're not telling us, more so than ever. And I hope I'm right. And certainly with the end game area, what's it called?
Dreaming City.
Dreaming City. I think that's the big present under wraps, because I feel like that's designed to be a really truly evolving living space, more so than anything else they've done. So between those two, between Tangled Shore and this, I think that there's that much more to explore. And then with all these other things with the Outlaws, it makes the old stuff fresh again. And I think we've got something here that's really going to be a lot of fun to play and replay.
Absolutely.
I think it touches on like one of the biggest kind of... Sorry, Slothy, I didn't mean to stomp on you.
No, go for it. Go. Yeah,
I think it touches on one of the biggest kind of... Like... I love going into things blind, right? But I also completely understand why Bungie, especially in the position they've been over the last 6 to 8 months, why they can't afford to do that, right? They need to be presenting people with value before they purchase it, rather than just going, here is what it is. But
right
beyond that, I love the fact that they're telling us literally nothing about the Dreaming City. Like that I'm most excited about, because I know nothing about it. So I think, I hope that they get back to a point where, I guess, the faith of those people who are invested in Destiny is restored to the point where they don't feel like they need to, put so much shit out there before releasing a content update to sort of allay the concerns of the value of it. I like that. For me, I find it frustrating, because when they were showing like full strikes and stuff like that, it pissed me off. That I won't mince my words. Like, it pissed me off, and I'm like, why, man? Like, let people go in and dive in. And I'm sure you're whether you choose to watch content creators' videos of it or whatever is your decision. But at the same time, like, you are being fucking bombarded with it for a week. Well, like, you can't go anywhere
especially
without
when we
finding
talk
out.
about and there are videos where like they would talk about news, and I won't name names because it's rude, but like, there were like videos where like they had gameplay of entire strikes from Warmind, and they were just talking about news. And as soon as and luckily it's one of these creators where I don't need to have the video up, because they just put whatever, and they do say, hey, there's strike stuff here, and it's like, make that a separate video, dude. Like, make that a separate video. Like, you're wasting that content on both sides, but it really makes me angry, especially when, like, in Warmind, using it as an example again, we're looking at something where there was very little content to begin with, in terms of something you could reveal in that way. Warmind has a lot of layers to it. It's great content. I'm not saying a bad thing about it. I love Warmind. But when you have only 2 strikes that you're revealing, and both of those have basically been revealed, like, really? Like, come on. And luckily we're not getting that now, but what we're seeing with Game Informer, as Game Informer tends to do, it's dangerously close to that, and it really gets under my craw.
I mean, I get that. And Exile Dark Elf, like you say in the chat, like, you're okay with them showing too much as because people have the option.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
and as Jim said, there are some content creators out there that go and read the news, but they have the whole thing going on in the background. That is your choice not to watch. But if you're weak, like me, and you like are just screaming for new information. You're just like, I want to know. I'm excited. I want to know. It's frustrating, and yes, it is very muchly a me problem. It is very muchly a log problem and a Jim problem. Some people are stronger than us when it comes to new information, but still, I'd like to see less information be released to content creators when they can now disperse that information out to the wider gaming populace. So I get where you're coming from. I do. But just a little bit less. Just woo up, just a wee tad, especially with the big release.
Easiest way to do that would be like for a strike, show half the strike and make them stop playing, or like the capture stops at this point. So you don't show boss mechanics, you don't show bosses. You know, for example, Destiny 2, the best strike in there in terms of story is the one where the Guardian sacrifices herself so that you can save everybody else.
Yeah.
And the first time I ran through that, like, I did roll a tear. I was like, oh my God, she's going to kill herself. And that revelation was like, holy shit, like, you never see that. And imagine if that whole strike was just rolled out there for everyone to see.
Yeah. I do think that they're pretty careful with what they do release. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it's just fucking willy-nilly, you know, whatever you want, you can broadcast it. But at the same time, I personally would like to see it less out there. I mean, I love what they're doing with the supers, because that, at the end of the day, is the part that we're all most invested in. Like, the content is secondary to the power fantasy of being a Guardian. You know, it's where you go and do what you are, right? Or, you know, however you want to word it. So for the supers to see, like, kind of what we're going to be doing, in that sense, I really enjoy it. But the actual context and all of that sort of stuff, like, there was the article that basically spelled out half of the campaign. And for me, too much. But let's move on, shall we? Actually, we've got one last little Game Informer thing to talk about. But considering it's gun related, I think it's really appropriate that we take a message from our sponsors right about now.
This week on the DDU Legendary Collection. History has proven that unlimited space-age technology cannot outperform the reliability of a 10-gauge pump-action shotgun. Deadpan delivery, now with the stopping power of Whooshka. Point, click, shoot. Range? Kind of. Impact? All of it. Deadpan delivers 5 shells of bone-shattering, teeth-rattling, viscera-splattering, overwhelming murder. I've done the math, and it checks out. Deadpan make the dead man. Floofing warlock? Booshka! Puncher up to scumbaggery? Booshka! Out of all of the shotguns, why should you use Deadpan? Because Deadpan make the dead man. No soup for you! Deadpan make dead man.
Oh my God.
Oh, dude, I can just imagine anyone thinking that we were actually seriously going to roll a fucking ad.
Real talk. That is my go-to shotgun, regardless of platform, unless it's Mayhem, and then I switch to Tractor Cannon. But Deadpan delivery, like, I've been doing a lot more grinding on PC recently, and especially with the rank increase from last weekend. And I got one of those to drop right before I went in to start the grind. It's like, oh, thank Godzilla, I actually have a Deadpan on PC, and it really is. It reminds me of Party Crasher so much. But I don't know if you guys have noticed this on PC or not. I'm going to throw this out there. I've been noticing some hit detection issues on PC this week.
Yes,
especially with Deadpan. Like, it wasn't there like last week. Like, I'm shooting guys from 3 feet out tops. All right, so what, a meter at most, center mass, or between the middle of the rib cage and the chin. So I tend to shoot for that area, so I hit the head. And I'm sliding into it when I pull the trigger, and I'm missing. And there's no damage on PC at 100 whatever frames.
It's a slug shotgun, yeah, the Deadpan.
Yeah, but before that, like 2 weeks ago, I was landing shots like crazy in the same scenarios.
You know what, man? Maybe it's also just a decrease in player base, and, you know, slightly worse connections. Like, it's the reality of where we're at the moment. We're in between content cycles. Like, things are going to get worse before they get better, and I think that there's probably an element of that. But I don't know, man. I'll keep my eye out, and I'll see if anyone in the chat or listening to this down the line knows of an actual issue that's causing this. Please let us know, because I can imagine it would be fucking frustrating, especially when you were deprived of the power of Bushka, because deadpan is meant to make the dead man.
Did happen. Yes, deadpan makes the dead man. And one of the dead men that I came across this week, I'm going to throw him a shout out here, is Guardian Outpost. It was Monday morning. It was one of the last matches that I played in Mayhem on PC as I was getting my grind on for PC, because I did max out twice on PS4 and PC in 3 days. That was a grind. But I was in this thing, and spoiler alert, I work during the day and I work from home, and I'm listening to this training material. So I'm not really fully paying attention to either thing. I'm letting instinct take over for both activities, as you want to do. And I just bowled like a 5.5 KDA. And then I get a Twitter message. And Guardian Outpost is like, "Hey, you're savage. How you doing, dude?" I'm like, "What?" And I went back and looked at the thing, and and he's like, "You murdered our whole team. Like, you wiped us like 4 times." I'm like, "Sorry. If it was you, I wouldn't have done that. I like you, dude. I'm sorry." I felt awful about that shit.
Is that a thing? Would like, if you saw someone that you knew that was a content creator, would you go easy? I'd go harder. No, that's just my nature.
It depends on who it is. Like Guardian Outpost, like I really like that dude. He's like a really nice chap, and with him, like when I see someone I like, I tend to dance and like, "Hey, how's it going?" and then shoot him. But like, I went back and I looked at, because I record a lot of my gameplay, and I went back and I looked, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, it was really brutal. It was like he owed me money. It was really bad. Like lots of sliding, lots of shotguns, lots of striker slams. It was a violation, and I felt bad. It was extra bad.
That's fine.
It was extra bad. Like I was mad at him.
These things happen. You just got to roll on with it and do what you can, Jim, and try not to feel too guilty about it, because at the end of the day, we're just doing what you do. So, right, one last thing that the Game Informer articles covered was one exotic weapon. Now, I'm kind of okay with them talking about exotic weapons, provided that they don't do all of them. I like some mystery, but this one, Cerberus +1, which is just a play on the 3-headed dog +1, because it has 4 barrels and it is an assault rifle. So it looks like I think it looks like it's seriously held together with zip ties at parts.
Well, do you remember the Jalo? Like it was built from like the remains of several different guns. Like that looks cool to me. I like that. I like that a lot.
I think it's
And they also showed off, they talked about it, and a lot of comparisons were made to like the spread gun from Contra, and I was like, okay, now you have my attention. Because I'm like, okay. But they did make it clear that this gun was very situational, which is honestly one of the best things for an exotic. Like you want them to be situational. You want to be able to say, I just have just the gun for this. Swap it out and go. And especially with a new weapon system where it's not going to be a huge detriment to switch weapons on the fly like that. I think that they're taking the lid off. I think it's smart. On the other hand, I'm holding my head right now. I'm trying to think very clearly so I can channel Bungie psychically and Reddit at the same time. People are going to be asking for big buffs on this weapon in about 6 weeks after release.
Big buffs or big nerfs?
Big
buffs, because it's from the way it's being described, like it's very powerful, but not so powerful that it feels like you're just like that first few times you shoot, like, oh, wow, but it's very situational for like the big mobs. I would love to see it be something where in PvP the balance is where you can hit a lot of stuff, but the damage is much lower. So it's good for clearing a team, but you really have to be dead on with your shots, kind of thing. But I think there's a lot of potential in this weapon, and I hope the balancing is done just so. But we'll see. I don't have any idea.
Well, it depends on the damage output. Like four barrels firing at the same time. Like you could get right up close and just go knees, hips, body, head, That's full burst. Like he could be a damage beast if you get up close.
Well, the last time we had 4 barrels going at once, it was arguably broken, aka the 4 horsemen. I had forgotten how good that weapon was, and I happened to come across a video where I had done. I was reviewing the Taken King in short order, and it was me soloing the boss fight with a 4 horsemen. And I was just basically jumping right in his face and just jumping back, reloading, and I basically beat Oryx with a 4 horsemen. It was really cool. And you don't have those moments we talk a lot about like those solo moments, those freaky PvP moments, but PvE there's a lack of that too. A lack of weapons that are like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. And the closest thing we've had, in my opinion, is Sleeper Simulant. And one of the opportunities is that with mob clearance, because I think mob clearance is so much fun. So some of the like the auto rifle you get from Bray is one of the best mob clearing devices out there because of the exploding everything. I think it's a great weapon. So I'm trying to think of myself, okay, now what if I have a weapon that does that in mass, and there's a lot of potential here, and I'm like, please be as good as it sounds. Please be as good as it sounds. Don't suck.
I think like more than anything, this weapon is important because it sort of signals this kind of direction to go in the really crazy like weapon varieties and stuff. Like we said this with the Colony when we first saw it. I mean, we probably didn't appreciate then how much of a pain in the ass it had become in PvP, but that's secondary.
Right.
But like we're throwing around space magic. I like the stupid fun guns, right? Like the crazy shit that, 4 barrels strapped together on a fucking assault rifle or auto rifle. Let's go for it. The grenade launcher that shoots little scaraby spiders that'll track you down. Let's go for it. I really hope that this signals kind of the direction that we move in from here on in with exotics. And, maybe they aren't more powerful. Maybe they're just fucking crazy, and I like that.
Maybe they're just stupid. Kieran actually pointed me onto. Apparently, there was a video that went out with about this recently. But he said use the Fighting Lion with a hard-hitting hand cannon. It's a 2-shot thing when I was playing PvP last night. My God, it like if you could land a stun shot with the Fighting Lion, he wasn't wrong, and it was fun. It wasn't necessarily the best use of ammunition or the best use of positioning or anything like that if you're a PvP type of player, but it was just fun to use,
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely a precedent set for that with, like, you look at tractor cannon, just bushkering people off the edge of things. Shit, I just realised Rick's taking the piss out of me with that video. I say bushker.
He really is.
Fuck.
He really is.
Fuck. I thought,
so, ladies and gentlemen,
what a moron.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is what covers the Game Informer articles. But this week and the last 3 weeks, Guardiancon. So Guardiancon is happening this weekend. If you're unaware, it is a. They describe it as the premier gaming meetup in Tampa, Florida, organized by Broman, Gathalion, and Kevin X Vision, Rare Drop Co. And they've got a lot of content creators, a lot of Destiny players, Fortnite players, Warframe, blah, 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 blah. A lot of people heading down there doing a meetup. And it's a really cool thing. But they've been doing a charity event, an ongoing charity event for around about 3 weeks now. And they have, for St. Jude's Hospital, and they have raised $2.7 million and still going.
It's fucking staggering. It's absolutely staggering.
Yeah.
And it's well past first and second year combined.
Yeah.
And that bears mentioning. I participated in a very small capacity last year and certainly this year as well. I was at Guardiancon last year, and the vibe that is present in the streams when we talk about generosity and gamers coming together to really do something positive. If it's intense on the stream, when you go to that convention, it really is that much more plus like a certain dollop of you know, feel like a family reunion. It's really something different, and I highly recommend that anyone has the opportunity to go the next time it comes around to go.
Dude, I think it's sort of like now it's taken on this thing of like, if you play Destiny and you love Destiny and you kind of that Destiny lifer, as you know, for want of a better term, it's really become like a bit of almost a pilgrimage, right? Like to
yes,
you know, like I mean, for us in Australia, it's you know, it's not feasible to be going every year. Like I know Matt would have loved to have gone. I would have loved to have gone this year, but you know, maybe next year, you know, I'll put a tweet out sort of saying, look, you know, maybe if enough of us all want to go at once, we can kind of, you know, work together and make that happen. It's a daunting thing to travel halfway around the world by yourself, but, you know, if you're doing it with a group of people, or, you know, you can do it with a heap of other Aussies that, you know, we're all going to be, you know, around the same area and have a bit of a support network, then I think that's an important thing. So it's probably something I'll look to do. And, I mean, I haven't thought out the logistics of any of this yet, so please don't like quote me on any of it, but I would like to be able to help people get there, right? Whether I'm going or not.
Add him on Twitter.
If I may interject, I don't think it has anything to do with logistics when it comes to Matt not coming this year. I think he just hasn't recovered from last year. To be honest with you.
He did have some stories. Yes, I heard stories as well.
Speaking of Matt, right? Like, I mean, it's kind of, I forgot about him completely. You know, we've flown off the podcast. Who is Matt, right? But he may not yet recover from Guardiancon this year. And while he's not there, we've got a man on the ground who, look, you've heard his voice already in this podcast once. Rick, man at arms, lives in Tampa, so he's there, and we've sent him as kind of our ambassador, right? Like he's in there, he's talking to people, and we're going to put together a sort of an edited video of his perspective of Guardiancon for next week. We'll run it in the show. Just, you know, we're halfway through it right now, so there'd be no point doing it now. Who knows what'll happen tomorrow? It'll be great. So it'll be good for a laugh. But there is one thing that I literally cannot fucking sit on. So I'm just going to show you this now, and honestly, I'm going to fucking tweet it out later. And Matt may well be very fucking unimpressed, and you know, anyway, I'm just gonna fucking play it. But I didn't edit this at all.
I'm Man-at-Arms. Are you concerned with the irreparable damage that could be caused to the game now that Mylan is contracted with Bungie?
By the way, story. He's been prepping this for 3 days.
I feel like this is a plant.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's all a gag.
Which
Life was not in on it.
Real quick, on that note, to be completely and utterly serious. Oh my god, screw my... No. Okay, for real. Mylan was implemental in some of the planning for this panel early on, and it was a tragedy when we realized he couldn't be here. Every single time we host one of these, we love to get creators from across the lore community, but he has always been one of the central members. Now he's working at Bungie. It's fantastic. Mm-hmm. But let me tell you guys, I want to go ahead and... Real quick, I'm going to film this and send it to him. Oh, God. Yeah. No, for real, we're doing this.
Yes. No, we're doing
the serious one. So, okay. So, Matt, real quick, this is for you. This is from the law panel. Everyone say hi to Matt and thank him.
And thank you.
Love you.
Please stop the story.
Nice. Thank you so much. For real, Matt is a hero to all of us, and I think we're all very glad that we have someone from our own community in the bowels working for Bungie. That makes a huge difference. Mm-hmm. He will represent us really, really, really well.
Did Bife just say that Matt's in the bowels of Bungie?
Yes.
So
who knew? He's a fucking comedic genius.
He finishes his task. Is he going to get shit out back into the wild? Like, how is that going to work? Are they digesting him at the moment? Like, what is going on?
I don't know.
And the thing is, here's why for me that's a particularly funny joke. And Matt, preface: I love you to death. I wish that we were hanging out right now having scotch. However, that is not happening. So I'm going to tell a story. Last year, he was really sick. Most of the time he was there. At the Hard Rock Cafe on the first night, he was trying very hard to eat this gigantic steak, and he barely got through half of it. He just couldn't keep it down. So like this idea that like he goes to Guardiancon to be an ambassador for the lore community, gets a stomach bug, can't eat his fucking steak, and then now Bife's like, he's in the bowels of Bungie. I'm like, poor choice of words, James. Like, come on, dude. Like, you could have picked literally anything else. But, like, dude, funny. Like, get away from his stomach problems, dude. It was so horrible. Now, granted, we say sick, but we did ply him with a couple bottles of scotch and a lot of American beer and just general sorts of debauchery. For sure. I threw up. Grizzly threw up. I don't know if Matt threw up. I'm pretty sure he didn't. But he was paying for it for the next couple days, so there is that.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make that judgment call sometimes. Like, he probably would have been better if he had thrown up then, right?
Probably, especially for the amount he paid for that steak. He showed me the bill. I'm like, fuck, this is awful. How much it was criminal. I was like, wow, being a vegetarian suddenly makes a lot of sense.
So, to all of you, if you are watching and you're over in over there having a good time, be safe and all that sort of thing. And I hope you enjoyed. Guardiancon if you're watching it later during the week. Matt, I don't think he'll go back and watch this because, well, it's Matt and he's too holy for us. But I hope you enjoy Guardiancon while you're over there, undercover.
I honestly, there is no way in the world he's going to miss that because I'm going to fucking tweet it at him in a minute. Like, I mean, I spent 4 solid minutes editing that footage and putting boos instead of cheers in it. So there's no way in the world I'm not going to tag him in it. I hope I didn't do too good a job and the people think there's actually people booing him. I don't think so. I don't think so.
But ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions or queries or doubtful points or some statements that you would like to make in regards to this week of Bungie or Guardiancon or anything like that, please chuck them in the chat now if you're watching live. If you have any questions, queries, doubtful points, and you're watching on YouTube or listening on Podbean/Spotify, make sure you go check us out there. Shameless plug. Make sure you add us on Twitter at LogPowerSlave, at MarlinGames, at RealTimeSloth, at Destiny Down Under, and today at Grindhead Jim. If you have any questions, guys, please let us know. But the Guardiancon
of shameless clubs.
Yeah,
Speaking of shameless plugs, if you want to see video proof of everything I just discussed about Matt's trip to Guardiancon, you can head over to my Twitch channel /Grindhead Jim. There's a Vidoc of the entire experience.
What
so you can go enjoy that anytime you want at no charge.
Of Matt with diarrhea.
Oh my god!
I didn't say that.
Yeah, right.
So okay. the Guardiancon stream, I actually tuned in and watched Lupo and Ninja. During their Guardiancon. And I don't usually watch those two gents because they're definitely Fortnite type of dudes, and I just don't do Fortnite. But it was really, really good to see that people were responding and watching and donating and just being so incredibly generous with it. The goals of watching, so I was watching Ninja, and the goals of him was if you donated $100, you had to drop all materials. Donated $500, you had to drop all of the tiered weapons, like everything above common weapons in Fortnite and all that sort of thing. And it was brutal. God, he looked like he was having fun. And the from what I could tell, the majority of the chat was having a good time as well. So, question from Mr. Dino Games: when you will be chastising Log over his inferior beard, Kappa. Listen, Dino Games, we give Log so much shit about his inferior beard for being one of the 3 of us on this podcast and one of the 4 of them on the short-lived Sea of Thieves Plundercast without a beard. He can't grow one. It's okay. We judge him for it all the time.
I can just grow what I've got and I end up looking like some kind of like Anglo-Saxon
Pencil.
samurai. Like, that's not a particularly good look. So just be thankful that I don't do that. Like, yeah, you know what? Not everyone can grow a beard. I've
Log
fucking come
cruise.
to terms with it. I've come to
But make sure
This cold is fucking killing me. Anyway, my bad.
I mean, that is
No.
the goal of that virus. Let's be honest. I mean, that's
Seems pretty fucking sinister. The Identa. Why am I watching this at 1 a.m.? It is. I mean, you do you, man. Like, if you want to watch it at 1 a.m., you do that. It's on YouTube, so you can come back whenever you like. That's good. I think we'll go. Which of the supers, after seeing the which had the best GIF attached to it?
I don't know,
Striker.
man. Like the Striker Titan of legitimately just launching, like not the I'm going to boost up and then just bring both fists down and slam, or aim the punch and do the flying Superman. He legitimately just jumped into the air, curved a little bit, and then bang, and everything exploded.
Right.
It was great. I legit loved it.
it had a lot of really great callbacks to Death from Above without being a direct clone of that.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that, I've been a Titan Striker main for, almost half a decade now. And when we got that perk taken away, I felt like someone cut off my arm. And to see this come back has been a huge, it's a quality of life change as far as I'm concerned. And then when you figure that my lady is also a Striker main, she saw that, was like, I can do that? I'm like, yes, baby doll, you can do that. And she's like, So, I like that what they're doing with it. I think a lot of the other supers are really game changing. No pun intended. Like, you look at the support class for Warlock being a true support class. I think it's going to be huge in PvP, a lot more than people think. Especially with 6v6 having so many opportunities to be support in that thing. Look at what this is going to mean for Gambit. Look at what that's going to mean for raids. It's really cool. I don't think I've seen a super that doesn't have a huge potential to really change up gameplay in a way that's meaningful and impactful. But all that aside, give me my goddamn human missile, goddammit.
Yeah, I think we're incredibly biased towards the code of the missile as a group of dudes. But dudes, the Sentinel Shield, that shooting through it increases its duration. So just go and get all your mates with their fucking sweet businesses and get them in that well of radiance thing and just be shooting through it for fucking forever. I don't even know how it procs. Forever. That sounds just too fun.
Get a whole fire team of Titans with Actium war rigs and sweet business. Yeah.
So that sounds really cool, but that again, that with the true sight that comes with the Way of the Wraith, it might seem broken as we look at it, but I'm sure that I'm sure that Bungie will adjust and reset the goalpost and all that sort of thing. So it seems really, really cool. Now with the Warlock thing, that for me came out of freaking nowhere. That came out of nowhere for me. Like coming in and doing the support class.
Oh yeah, no, right.
Like that came out of nowhere. Like it's not an MMO. Like Destiny, I don't think it's ever been an MMO. I know I've said that I've said on my channel and here on the cast that it is an MMO light, but not a traditional MMO. So having something that is more like a traditional MMO type of class, that came out of absolute nowhere for me. I'm not saying I wouldn't enjoy it. I mean, a Warlock that can lob a grenade and heal you from the other side of Callus's throne room is, well, it's cool.
It's something that people like Datto and many other MMO diehards have been clamoring for years. The fact that Bungie bound to it, because here's the thing, we're looking at how many subclasses and variations of subclasses have come out in the last several years. You have to go somewhere to innovate. And did it take balls to do that? To go ahead and say, let's do this? Yes, it absolutely did. What I cannot wait for, because I think Bungie this year, what it has shown me more than anything else, it's embracing the player base's tendency to take ideas Bungie has and run with them and create new and exciting ways to strategize and execute different kinds of aggression in the game and strategy. And I feel like the wider berth that they can give all these different flavors for all these different classes, I really feel like Bungie's recognizing the opportunity that they don't have to solve every problem. They can just put tools in the hands of the players, of Guardians, and let us kind of write the narrative from a strategic standpoint. And I love that they're taking that chance on us. And I hope that they continue to do that. I feel like we're going to be in a good place, especially with the way this release schedule is going, where it's leaning more towards patches and gameplay changes and expanding on activities the way they exist and focusing on activities. So I feel like we're going to see so many more variances on how something can be done. So whether we're talking about just having a different way to do something every time you do it, or content creation or challenge videos or whatever, I feel like this particular subclass, the support subclass we're talking about, is a really like you just trying to spotlight on that and really understand that this is a great representation of where the community synergy with Bungie as a development team could go, and I hope that it continues.
While we're talking about this, though, do you think that mechanics like this being explored to a greater extent in game kind of lends itself to a bit of a UI overhaul? Like the importance of a healer class goes up tenfold if everyone had a health bar above their head, because then it becomes the role of a healer class to, you know, scan around, make sure everyone's, you know, staying up, you know, that they're healthy, right? Right now, I kind of think the utility of this class will be diminished by the fact that it will take for someone to tell you that they're getting peppered, or for you to be kind of just going, okay, well, we'll all be standing here, I'll throw a grenade down. You know, like I think if we could get to the point where I don't know, you know, that's not for me to figure out how Bungie represents player health in game, but if there was a visual cue or an audio cue that would provide you with that information that you could then go, shit, he's low on health, grenade, and heal grenade.
I got it.
I think it's
an exotic helmet. An exotic helmet that shows player health, has an audible cue when player health goes low for other players in your team, and extends grenade range.
That would be OP
and
as
perhaps,
fuck. I mean,
with the new exotics coming in.
And perhaps the masterwork for that helmet would grant orbs upon healing, a successful heal of your team, any teammate. Just say it.
The only thing that I'm afraid with that is that they might be stepping on, and I think that they've gotten this whole support class from the Blizzard side of Activision Blizzard. If they're taking ideas from Activision Blizzard, your Overwatch, your World of Warcraft, and blah, blah, blah. You're kind of.
I think they're pretty well-worn gaming tropes anyway at this point.
Well, I mean, this is true. This is true. But throwing a grenade at your friends to heal them, can anybody say Anna Amari?
I don't even know what that is, but fair enough.
She's a
Neither do I. I played only. Basically, understand something. Where you're coming from, I totally get it. I know you're right. You have to understand, on my PS4, when they introduced folders, I created one folder. It's called Not Destiny, and everything went in that folder. The only things that didn't go in that folder were Destiny, Destiny 2, and Watch Dogs. That was it.
Fair.
So, you know, will I be able to intelligently espouse upon how you're right? Absolutely not. I am a Destiny no-lifer, okay? But I understand enough about Overwatch and some of these other games and certainly some MMO classes and so forth where, yes, there are tropes. But we could have the exact same conversation about gunplay versus Halo.
I don't think that
with Destiny. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's meant in like a pejorative way at all. I think it was more
right.
Like,
of course not.
if it adds depth to the game, and it's not like, you know, it's never going to be out and out fucking IP theft. It's going to be a crafting of a mechanic that is maybe similar to or inspired. And seriously, look at the Contra fucking spread shot. It is the new auto rifle is like they admitted that in the article. They said it was the inspiration behind it. So, you know, we're 35 fucking years down the line in gaming right now.
If you gave me a Hunter Super, that just completely flat out copied the Ninja Gaiden jump and slash from the original game, I wouldn't complain. Because I don't know if you ever played the NES Ninja Gaiden, the original, but jump and slash could kill a boss in 2 hits. It was the original OP. It was a literally broken weapon. There was no way to fix it because you're on a cartridge.
Yeah, true.
So I say bring in every trope, bring in all the tropes, but give it to me in that Destiny sandbox, and I'm a happy guy. Steal everything. Steal fucking everything.
He's easy on the steal word, though. I mean,
not call it steal.
It's be inspired by anything.
Inspired by would probably be my takeaway. Be inspired by, because as much as I hate to say it, there is no original thought process in regards to ideas in games. It's all inspired from something else. It's all inspired from something.
Look at it like fucking music, man. Like you can't even make that argument. Like there is no idea that hasn't been done. There's no sound that hasn't been heard. There's no, like, you look at the absurd shit that people listen to these days because it's different, like fucking Skrillex. Like, it sounds like a dial-up modem. I mean, I'm not saying that's bad, it's different. But at the same time, like, that is the length that people are now going to push the frontier of music. So this is video games.
No, absolutely.
Like, people who make video games are inspired by other people who make video games, and that's just the way it
absolutely
is.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying that there is no original thought anymore.
And I certainly didn't mean to imply that any of this, the impetus of this conversation was that. I want to be very clear.
Yes.
But you're absolutely right in that there's absolutely no shame and there's no attempt to hide the fact that this came from some very other successful iterations of this type of concept. But that to me is a good thing, because Bungie has been so hell-bent on innovating that they have kind of glossed over or just sprinted past common sense ideas time and time again with this game. And this, once again, is an indication that that's probably not going to be the case moving forward, that they're willing to kind of, I don't want to say like fan service us with what they're doing, but they're willing to just say, you know what, this is a good idea. It doesn't matter if it's the most original thing in the world. Let's see if we can make it work in our sandbox and do something really cool for Destiny players. I think they finally are starting to get it. Whether or not that's going to be something that the front side development team learns over time remains to be seen. But the live team certainly gets it.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. I'm just hoping that Bungie go overboard with the exotics. I hope they go overboard with all of the changes, but I hope they still keep their individuality in some way, shape, or form.
Yes. Like for example,
obviously,
like the rocket launcher that fires 2 rockets that of 2 different damage. Like one is the it's a not neutralizer, but it's a debuff. It does the
suppression.
Yeah, it does suppression and then damage, which I think is really cool. I feel like there's some really crazy things that could be done with different weapon types, and now with the weapon types now being scattered across different things, and I feel like we have a lot of places we can go. The only concern I have, because I don't think the weapons are going to get any tamer. I would hope that also the impetus carries over and that momentum carries over into armor, because we haven't seen that. We wouldn't need this exotic armor pass that we've been getting. The 2 of them now. We're going to have a 3rd one. If they weren't taking bigger chances with the armor, and I hope that the armor we see, the exotic armor we see in Forsaken, shows us that, because I haven't seen any exotic armor in terms of like knowing what perk sets they're going to have or anything. So
But that's okay. This is what we alluded to before, is that I would rather see nothing, know nothing, and see nothing going into it than seeing everything and knowing everything going into it. I want to be surprised.
I agree with that. I'm just hoping that from a design standpoint that does carry into that. That's all I meant by that. I don't want to see it.
Absolutely.
But when I do see it, I want it to be crazy.
Yeah, I think everyone wants crazy. Crazy is where it's at. I think we can all agree on that.
Yep. I honestly, like, all I really want, and this is going to be like the antithesis of what I just said. I just want Helm of the Most Light back. That's all I want. Give me that. Give me that Helm.
I think everyone has that exotic that they want back, right? I think everyone.
That's the one though, because my Titan doesn't look right. She doesn't look right. Dude.
You know what I want back?
She needs to look right.
I want Ruin Wings back. The most fucking stupid one of them all. Like, didn't really do all that much, but fuck, they looked cool. Anyway, I think we've talked ourselves to a standstill, as we really normally do on this podcast. We're all passionate dudes. Yeah, dude, of course. But we are going to host into Posse Paul. So please hang around, go and make him feel the love, and maybe just go and say Bushka a lot. Slothy, do you want to do your weekly closeout as you do?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. If you are watching on Twitch and you haven't hit that follow button, please consider hitting it. It really sort of helps with getting us out there. Same on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and the bell to make sure that we've got you see when the new videos go live. And if you're listening on Spotify and or a Podbean, thank you very much for watching, listening. If you have any questions, queries, doubtful points, chuck them in the YouTube. Chuck them in the YouTube comments and or at us on Twitter at RealTimeSloth, at LogPowerSlave, at Mylan Games, or at DDU, or in this week's special guest case at Grindhead Jim. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for hanging about. And keep an eye out for some more photos or videos or just really good meetup stories from Guardiancon, which have been coming out after one day. People have been meeting up.
Beautiful.
Butt touches, hugs, and all of that sort of thing. So make sure you go and check them out. Thank you very much for watching, guys.
Matt's not here to say the law will find you or allude to the law in any way. I'm a bit worried about Matt, so maybe we should find Matt. Is that where we're at?
Maybe someone get a plane. Let's find Matt and drag him kicking and streaming back to this goddamn podcast. Okay? Cool. Like it. Thanks.
Good job. Okay. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for joining us, Jim. It's been a pleasure, man. All right.
Cheers.
Stand by for the raid. Thanks, bye.